Hey, good morning, small business owners. Welcome to Monday Morning Metrics. My name is Rebecca Berneck. I am the founder and big head of Office Heads, a financial management firm located in Evanston, Illinois. Every Monday, almost every Monday, because the last couple Mondays I skipped. Did you miss me? I skipped it. You know, one time I think I was sick. I had a cold, and I just didn't think you wanted to see me in my bathrobe with like a box of tissues. So here I am. Monday Morning Metric, 10:30 Central Time. I talk about small business and how numbers and finance can help grow your business. So thanks for joining me. As always, please make some comments below and I'll try to get to them. If not, we're going to just jump right into the subject. So this morning, we're going to talk about utilization. I'm an efficiency person. I think in boxes and arrows. I'm a process person and I'm an efficiency geek. And so when I learned about utilization, it was prior to Office Heads, when I was working with my mentor at a small boutique consulting firm called RNW Consulting. My mentor said, yeah, well, we need to start tracking utilization. What is our employees' utilization? I'm thinking, I don't know what utilization is. When I learned, I got super excited. So before I jumped onto this call, I looked up the definition. So it says utilization is the action of making practical and effective use of something. Okay, that's like super boring. It's true, but it's boring. Now, I also looked up utilization rate, which is, this is what we're going to talk about, the percentage of time a person spends doing billable work. So I remember when I learned about utilization, I'm thinking, okay, there's the management of people and there's the soft side, because we all have soft sides. You need HR to handle all kind of the soft side and the soft skills of people. I was so excited to know that there was a logical number side of people. So this was great. So utilization, and we're going to talk about two different things: utilization of your employees, but then also utilization of you yourself if you're a solo business person. So let's start with employees. So in order to run your utilization, now knowing that utilization is the number of hours that your employees spend doing billable work. Well, first of all, why is that important? Well, and I'm going to throw out some, test numbers here. So what if your employee, let's say you have one employee, let's make this easy. Your employee is 50% utilized. That means 50% of the time you're paying them, they are bringing in money. So in order to have that number behind, well, I hate to, make things a little bit more difficult because nobody likes to fill out a timesheet. You have to fill out a timesheet, even if it's just you. The numbers behind what you do will often surprise you with your employees and with yourself. So first of all, let's say that, okay, you're tracking your time. Now, I will say there are many, many time trackers out there. You could do it in Excel. You can do it on this piece of paper. I'm an efficiency person. So Office Heads has relied on Get Harvest to track time. All of our employees track time that way. I'll tell you that I'm looking into T-Sheets because T-Sheets was purchased by QuickBooks. And so there's a really wonderful, it doesn't even need to sync with it. It is integrated with it. So I'm in the process in the background seeing just how amazing T-Sheets integrates with QuickBooks and then integrates with payroll. And we use Gusto payroll. So I think I can build something, that financial engine, to make it super, super efficient. So back to people, you have to have their time. So let's just say everybody's filling in their timesheet, right? So you download the time and go and you divvy it up to say, well, what's billable and what's not billable. Now you can go into a lot more detail because when you do the billable time, billable by client, billable by project, that's super important for you to be able to figure out whether or not your projects are profitable on that people side. And especially if you're billing by the hour, you don't want to know, hey, I worked 50 billable hours. I want to know where you spent those 50 hours. So also configuring your timesheet program, super, super important for all this information. So let's just look at it kind of at a big picture. So your employee, you're paying them for 100% of their time, but they're only billable 50% of the time. So when you do the math, wow, I pay them $10, I charge them out at $20, 50% of the time, that's what you have left as your profit. So I'm kind of guessing that 50% is maybe not a good number. So first you need to have the information. You need the timesheet to be able to analyze it. And then you say, well, but what is best practice? It's like a gap analysis, right? What is best practice and what does my company need? So if I have one employee at 50% utilization, I'm paying them 10, but I'm charging them out at 20. If they're working 40 hours a week, how much money do I have at the end of a month to pay the bills? Well, maybe that's not efficient enough. And you need to figure out how to get that employee to 60% utilization, 70% utilization. Holy cow, let's get them up there. I like to use offices as an example. All of my bookkeepers are 85% utilized. That is the goal. Now, okay, when they start, we have a plan. And I've learned this from my history. The first month I have a new bookkeeper, I expect them to be 35% utilized. There's a lot of training and trying to figure out everything that we do and the way that we do it. Month 2, I want them to be utilized 55%. They're getting, and that shows whether they're catching on. And if they're not 55%, I either say, well, maybe they're not the right bookkeeper. Maybe they don't understand the tools. Do we need to do a little bit more training? But that utilization number isn't just bottom line profit. It's also, what do I need to do to make sure that this employee has everything they need to excel and to exceed and succeed here and at offices and at your company as well. For us, month 3, 85% utilized. That gives everybody about an hour a day, 5 hours a week to do administrative stuff that's not billable, to do development and training if they need to take a course or polish up on the tool that we use. But that is a magic number, 85% utilization. We're watching that every week, every month. Super, super important. Now, utilization, you can even divvy it down. Now we're going beyond utilization, but you can divvy that down, especially if you're looking at how profitable are my projects. So if they're tracking their time and they're doing it by client and they're doing it by project, you can actually say, well, let's start with I'm billing by the hour. If you're not tracking time and you're billing by the hour, it is so easy to have money just go out the window because you're going, oh, 3 days later, I think I worked 4 hours on that. I think I did. But in reality, you usually probably spend more time than that. Accurate time tracking, doing things in the moment every day. Then when you're when you're billing by the hour, you're billing actual by the hour. Now, if you say, no, I don't bill by the hour, I do by project, which is great because it's really easy on when you do your invoicing. Love it, especially if you're a service company and you can do value billing. I love it. It's great. However, don't do it so you don't have to track your time because it's still super important to know if you are profitable or not. I'll give an example of somebody. I had a client, they were doing a website, they do websites. Like, oh no, it's $10,000 for a website and $15,000 if you have some development, and they just have flat rates, which is great. It's easy. It's easy to sell. It's easy to invoice, boom. But what happens if the people are spending more than that on a project? There are some clients out there, some people, some businesses out there, they're actually losing money. They can't feel it at the time because the money's still coming in, but they're not efficient enough and they don't know it because they're not tracking utilization and they're not reporting on profitability by client, all based on time tracking. But I digress a little bit because we're talking about utilization. So we've already talked about the importance of an employee being at a specific utilization rate. That is how much time that they're spending on billable work. But let's talk about the lifestyle business or the solopreneur. I'll tell you, still super important, but I think it goes a little bit further. So you're going to say to yourself, okay, I pay myself, I don't pay myself. Well, hopefully after watching obviously it's Monday Morning Metrics, you should be paying yourself on a regular basis because it's so important to be getting paid and being acknowledged for the work that you do. But it's really super important to know how much time you're spending on billable work. Well, if you're a solopreneur, you know that you're wearing a ton of different hats. Entrepreneurs wear a ton of different hats. So it's really sort of unacceptable. Can you expect yourself to be 85% utilized? Well, maybe, but it depends on how many hours you want to work because there's a lot of other things that you need to do. There's marketing, there's sales, you're out networking. What about your financial management, doing your bookkeeping? Don't forget to do your bookkeeping. There's so many other things, risk management, IT, HR. There's all of these departments of a business. And even though you're small and just you should be checking in on these areas of internal management to see if there's anything that needs to happen. Maybe there's zero time, but maybe there's things you need to do, especially sales and marketing, because you might be working, and all of a sudden you're done with the project and you look and you've ignored that piece of your business. And you're sort of, the consulting world calls it, I'm out on the beach. You're just sitting there going, there's nothing to do. And then you're scrambling and catching up, which makes cash flow go like this. So how does this work with utilization? I know you hate it. You got a lot of things to do. I'm asking you to keep your time because it's really important. That data is great, great, great to analyze. So how much time are you actually spending on billable work? Then you ask yourself, and what's my billable rate? And if you multiply your utilization with your billable rate, this is what I'm bringing in. This is how much time I have extra. And sometimes you might want to bring down that utilization to make sure you have time for your sales. Make sure you have time for those other things. Hate to say it, I don't want you working more than 40 hours, but are you working 50? Are you working 60? How long do you want to work 40 and 50? Well, yeah, how long do you want to work? 40 hours, 50 hours, 60 hours or more? There comes a certain time that you're going to want to burn out. So having this information, understanding your utilization, knowing where you're spending your time on various different areas of your company to grow and remain healthy, really, really important for revenue, cash flow, your sanity, your health and wellness, all that kind of good stuff. So that's the entrepreneur and solopreneur. But utilization, as you can see, is good for any size business. Is your staff being absolutely utilized for the betterment of your organization? Keeps your financial engine running and tuned up. So there you go. That's all I have to say about utilization. Unless you have questions, bring them down below. But also, please, if you've got other topics you'd like me to cover about small business and how numbers can help grow a business, please put them in the notes, because if you don't tell me what you want to hear, I'm going to pick topics when I wake up in the morning and go, what do I think someone wants to talk about today? What made you guys think that I think you want to hear about utilization? Because I like utilization. So give me your topics, make some notes. Let me customize Monday morning metrics for you. Okay, thanks for joining me today. I hope to see you next week. Next week, I'm actually at QuickBooks Connect in San Jose, California. So I will be on the road doing Monday morning metrics. So I definitely hope to see you then. Make your comments. Thanks for joining me. Have a wonderful and productive week.